Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today is April 4th. I've already covered today's anniversary, a young woman who was the first of two to die after abortions by Dr. George Wayne Patterson. He was rather an unsavory character with a gambling addiction who was shot dead in an aborted robbery attempt outside a porno theater. Um, at first, he was treated as a martyr for the cause, but his name gradually vanished from the rolls of the holy martyrs among the pro choice. But you can follow the link below and learn about his dead patients. But since I already have today's anniversary covered, what we're going to look at is kind of an exploration of abortiondocs.org. And I direct people there all the time. And I've said if pro choice people really cared about women as much as they say they do, they really cared that much about abortion safety, they would be the ones running this clearinghouse of information about abortion practitioners and facilities. And they put everything there. They're good, bad, indifferent. You can get an award, they'll put it on there. You can get arrested, they'll put it on there. I scrolled down and decided to just look through some of their offerings. I just started with Alabama. Let's look at Joseph Henry Kennedy III. Now, he showed up in Alabama even though he didn't like to stay in one place. He was a doozy. The biggest trouble he got in was with the New York Medical Board. They found the allegations against him very credible and revoked his license. 3 women came forward. Patient A was 21 years old, and he had admitted her to Lincoln Hospital for acute pelvic inflammatory disease. Went into her hospital room in the middle of the night while her roommate was down the hall in the TV room, lifted her up and kissed her on the lips and did some other creepy things. She reported the incident to the hospital and to the police. Patient B, a 24-year-old woman, had been admitted to the hospital by Kennedy at around 3 o'clock in the morning. He came into her room and was just kind of rubbing her hands and feet in an extremely creepy way. She also reported that to the hospital and the police. Patient C, it was even more disgusting. She awoke in the middle of the night to find him groping her under her underpants and kissing her. And this was after, during the admission exam, he'd asked her some rather inappropriate questions about her sex life. And after this, he came back in, rubbed her toes, and wanted her to show him how to do it right when it came to lovemaking. So she also reported this creepy encounter to both the hospital and the police. So his license was revoked. He scuttled off to, where was it? Kentucky. And got in trouble there. Aside from his unexplained absences from the hospital emergency room, superficial and inadequate patient assessments, and administering an inappropriate dose of Actifed to a toddler, quote, Dr. Kennedy propositioned a female patient, followed her to her car, and attempted to hold her hand, hug her, kiss her, and sexually fondle her. The Alabama board got word of this, and they yanked his license too. And he next showed up in Tennessee. Abortion Docs mentioned this, but for some reason they didn't have the source document, but I was able to find it, an article in the Tennessean. He was caught performing abortions, practicing without a license at a Nashville clinic. He evidently had fled New York pending charges relating to what he had done to those 3 patients. That was all in 1988. I haven't been able to find any evidence he was ever actively prosecuted for any of these creepy things that he did. And from what I can see, he died in 1993. So at least he's not out there groping patients anymore. But this is why I tell you, go to Abortion Docs. Look up your local abortionist and see whether there's some unsavory stuff on record about him.